Hey guys, what's going on? I wanted to do an update. This is probably a long overdue update on Jason Bond's small account journey. So, for you guys that are in it, this was a fantastic service months and months ago when Jason took a $2,000 account and turned it into a $30,000 account, trading bull puts, so selling options for premium. And so, for a lot of people, this might have been a new concept for them, and it was a really fantastic achievement. I remember, like, basically showing everybody this is the Raging Bull dashboard, this particular challenge right here. I'll try and zoom in. And so he started with the $2,000 up the top here, so we scroll up. So he started with $2,000, and you can see so right here, and then he just grew this thing over the next few trades. Within a few trades, or just like if you look in the sort of the entry time frame here, within a month he'd grown it to like $6,000. And so for most people, this would be a major, major, major achievement, right? If you could do that most months, even if you took a hit some months, that'd be really impressive. So Jason just kept going though, and he took a few losses along the way. He got up to $16,000, 21,000, 23,000, all the way up, and then he'd start to take some big losses. So he started to really hammer the account as the market turned down. So my first point with this is, and this is going to be a fairly long video. My first point here is that Jason has the ability in a bull market, at least, and this strategy works best in a bull market, to really build a small account really fast. And so you can see that he went up to 31,000, and then he took these big losses and went all the way back down to 10,000, which is still a respectable, very respectable gain, right? So 2,000 to 10,000. But that was over the course of like months and months. And so this is something that keep like he would keep jumping around, so he would annoy subscribers a little bit. Very erratic sort of behavior a lot of the times. And don't get me wrong, I like Jason. I've interviewed him several times. I'll show you some of those interviews where you can find them. He's a great guy, but this trading strategy has a lot of potential, but it's very difficult to implement. And so you can see the tickers he does is like Meta and Tesla and NVDA, so like really well known big large cap stocks, and he does bull puts, which is selling and buying simultaneously. So you can see here, sell the 165s, buy the 160s. You can research this if you have no idea what I'm talking about. And basically, you can make it so that you can make quite a bit of money quite quickly if you're prepared to risk losing big as well. And so for me, over the next few trials, so what he would do is he would reset with $2,000, and you can see along the bottom here is all his different challenges. So you can scroll through and see what happened on challenge 1, for example. And so challenge 1, he started with $2,000 and rapidly turned into 5,000, 7,000, and back to zero after that, or minus even. So yeah, that was over the course of 3 months, roughly 1 to 3 months. And so what I noticed, and I told Jason about this, I think, in one of the interviews, I said to him, like, if you're doing this consistently, but you're always blowing up like this, why don't you just stop after you've doubled your account? You're doubling your account almost every challenge within a couple of trades, sometimes one trade. If not, maybe 3 or 4 trades, you've doubled your account, all in the space of less than a month. So you can see, for example, in this first challenge, and this is when his strategy wasn't like really honed in like it is now. Even from the 1st of the January 6th here to the 7th, so about a month, he'd more than doubled the $2,000. And so what I was like, well, why don't you just take out the $2,000? Like, pay yourself, take the profit, stop there, redo it, and reset and start another month. But Jason's super ambitious, so he really wants to turn that 2,000 into like $100,000 using this strategy. And I have no doubt if you try it enough, you will be able to do that. The problem is, services are based not just on the person who's doing the alerts like this, and he does alert each of these trades. Services are based on, well, the quality of a service is based on also how well you can follow as like a subscriber, right? So after a couple of bad ones like this one, let's see what this one looks like. Actually, that's not bad either. But again, he more than tripled the account, well, tripled it and then killed it. And so, like, again, you can just take profits. Like, don't try and, aim for $50,000. And so, different ones, same story. Check this one out. He's taking smaller losses, so his account's not taking such big hits anymore, which is good. But eventually they always go to zero, which is really not good. And it's killing Jason. I know it's killing him. And I know he's trying to get these losses under control. Which is great because his latest small account challenge, again, is doing really well. The problem is most people that have been involved in ones that went to zero have already given up and pay no more attention to basically any of his challenges, which is, in my opinion, probably a mistake because people improve and people learn and they grow and they change their strategy to stop losses. So here's his latest challenge. He went from $2,000 to $18,000, so that's pretty cool. You can see every trade that he puts into the spreadsheet. You can see he's taking losses, but they're not killing his account too much. They're hurting it, but they're not taking it to zero. He's building it back, hurting a little bit more, but not to zero. Building it back. If I scroll down here more, you can see there's tons of losses compared to his previous runs, but there's huge green streaks as well. But eventually, so far, over months, he still ended up at $18,000, which is awesome. So people could say naively, okay, well, yeah, but that's what he's done before. He took it to 30,000. He's going to blow this up. I have a bit more faith in him this time. I have to admit, I feel like he will continue to take losses, but they'll be controlled, and you can actually make some money with these things. If you look on the left here, he started to take bear calls as well. So he's starting to diversify it just that little bit, because that's one of my main criticisms of the strategy. Well, I have two. The first is he's so close to the money that if something goes against him, he's screwed. And if the market goes against him, he's screwed. So you can see by starting these bear calls, which he wasn't doing in his earlier challenges, he's starting to actually do better. So if you're thinking about joining Small Account Journey, this could be something that you might want to consider. And basically, he's really good at teaching as well. So he can really teach these different strategies. He likes building a community. He sometimes gets a little bit grumpy and frustrated at his own performance and other people's performance, like his, how subscribers are taking hits. But like anything, you don't want to just give up straight away. You don't have to start with $2,000. You can start with more or less if you want and go from there. This style of trading is a little bit too aggressive for me in particular. And so I've been looking at a few emails that he's been sending out. So we go to my email. He actually is taking the advice here. He says, I'm considering banking the $17,000 in profit. Because remember, the 18 something is including the 2,000 he started with. I would still have my $100,000 goal, but bank profits along the way versus using the current bigger balance to get there faster. Now that makes a lot of sense to me. So if you can do the $100,000 in profit, but it's going into your bank account as you go, and you're not just going to blow all up and go to zero, firstly, you're not going to annoy your subscribers as much, and secondly, you might actually have a chance of doing it. So it's always good. So the cool thing is he's asking for people's votes. Obviously, I'm a member. He says, bank 18,000 profits each time that a balance gets around 20,000 and rebalance to 2,000. So I'm guessing what he's meaning here is each time we get close to the 20,000 mark, you take that profit out, so you only have 2,000 left, so you're always safeguarded against it, which is really cool. The problem is the story's changed a little bit. The story I got a month ago was, and it may be just I misheard or misunderstood, was he was going to take the $2,000 and then double it over the month, so nearly always happens from what I've seen in the track record, and take that $2,000 out and then basically teach and help people for the rest of the month, and then start taking trades the next month, and always continually try to get just $2,000 profit, so doubling your money, because again, you don't have to use $2,000, you could use more if you want more or you want to risk more. And so this was really cool. He did a poll on what people would like, which is always good because it shows that the person actually cares, and Jason really does seem to care about his subscribers quite a bit. Let's get rid of the Bullseye Unlimited email that came in. And so here's the survey results. So he posted them, and it's not surprising what people said because it's pretty much overwhelmingly obvious to me. He said, "Good morning. I appreciate all the feedback from this weekend survey. Here's the results as of this morning. I will think this through and provide an update tonight." So I hope he doesn't just go, nah. like, basically, he said, "Yes, I'd like to see you rebalance at 2,000, leading with 304 out of 300. So 80% of the people said rebalance. Now, this is interesting. Shouldn't this say rebalance at 20,000 or rebalance at 2,000? So again, this is where the ambiguity comes in, is if you're making $2,000 from your initial 2,000, then rebalance for the next month, or if you're aiming for 20,000. So maybe the previous email was a typo. Or going forward, he's talking about actually rebalancing at 2,000, but on this particular challenge, it's almost at 20,000. He's talking about taking all the profits. So, anyway, he's starting to go the right way, in my opinion, in terms of this type of style of trading. So, basically, yeah. So, just wanted to show you that a little bit because I like Jason, and I've been a little bit disheartened by the fact that he did so well early on with the small account journey. And a lot of people, you guys probably watching my videos, jumped in on this, and then things went sour for quite a few months. So I just want to make sure that you guys know that maybe things are not as dire as they could be, and you might want to start thinking about looking at going back into the small account journey stuff if Jason is doing some more, management, basically. It's trade management. And he talks a lot, and he talks a good game, and he talks about reading, and he gives lots of lessons. But it looks like his emotions usually get the best of him when he starts to get up. This is an 824% gain, and he's still like debating whether he should take it. It's like, okay, kind of weird. He had 64 wins and 10 losses. This is more realistic to me. Like, it's better than having 64 wins and then one loss that wipes everything out, right? So it's starting to be a little bit more normal statistics for a winning trading strategy, which is good. Remember, there's lots of nice ways. You don't have to pick a market direction when you're selling these option spreads, but for him, he kind of does because he's so close to the money. However, my friend Lance at thetatraders.com doesn't have to worry quite so much because he sells far out of the money. So his risk reward is quite different from Jason's, but basically, you don't have to worry as much. It's way more chilled out. It's just a simpler system in terms of like, you don't have to be like, oh my god, is Meta going to gap down tomorrow? It's just so much better. On top of that, it's diversified, and that's something that I think is lacking with small account journey. So small account journey just relies on bull puts. And he's started to add in bear calls, which is really cool, starting to get some more diversification in there. But the fact that he's so close to the money to get these huge 50% gains and things on the trades is definitely a problem. And so what I'd encourage you to do, if you like Jason's style, but you want something that's much more relaxed, that still makes you money, just not as much money as fast, but actually is long-term sustainable, is definitely check out thetatraders.com, and I'll leave a link in the description for this. Basically, it's a really extensive service, so it has so many different things to do and different trades and different styles. If you're just wanting to trade like put credit spreads, you can do those. So kind of like what Jason's doing, but they're much more conservative is the word I'm looking for. You can do the more aggressive daily 0 DTE SPX. This has the advantage that you don't have to, like, when these trades are coming out, and you can set them up so that basically you don't actually have to be at your computer. You can set them up with good to cancel orders and OCO stuff, so you don't have to worry too much about time constraints. And then also on top of that, so the other huge part of this is the futures alerts on ES, MES, gold, a lot of different commodities as well. And those are more advanced, but they offer much more leverage basically, so you can make more money for your buying power. And so we have different lifetime plans here. So we don't offer any free trials anymore. We got a bit fed up with time wasters and tire kickers with that. We have more than enough members, take up all our time. I help out with it. Lance is the main guy, obviously, runs this. I try and help out the best I can with it. There's a lifetime where you get every single thing included, including like basically one-on-one mentoring with Lance, so one-on-one coaching. You get all the strangles that he does, the weekly futures puts, the iron butterflies, there's gold trades and all these things. And I've lost one trade out of hundreds now, and I only lost like the equivalent of 2 wins. So it wasn't like it destroyed my account, which is the problem with Jason's approach, right? So not always. Jason has had smaller losses as well. So yeah, so definitely come to this website, check it out. You can get a payment plan if you like. So one thing that we do like to do is, Lance puts his heart and soul into this, and this service is probably like 10 services, 10 of the best sell-side services you can find, all in one package. And basically, we know that $2,000 or $19.96 is a fair amount of money. So what we do is, if you contact Lance or myself, we can do payment plans. They're legally binding payment plans though, so you can't just be like, oh, I'm just gonna split the payment into 10 different ones and then only do 2. They're legally binding, so you actually have to do the payment plans like you would with the car, right? So, or whatever. But the idea is that it breaks it down so that you can actually make more profit on the trades than you are paying the subscription fee, which I think is quite a novel idea. Not many places do it, and they do it because, they don't do it because a lot of people default and they spend all their time chasing them and suing them or whatever, trying to get their money back. So I think this is a really nice approach. Obviously, if you have a larger account, this amount of money is not much at all, and you get a huge benefit from things like the gold trades and the oil trades as well. I do some really, really good crude oil trades. I made a decent amount of money trading crude oil recently using Lance's strategy. He doesn't just teach you how to, he doesn't just give you the alerts, he teaches you how to fish. So a lot of the trades I've been making money on are just based on his teachings, which was really awesome. It is split into different components. So we basically have one which is the quarterly, which is only $197. So this is the cheapest one. It's only for 3 months, but you can auto renews after 3 months. And that's just the stock stuff and the SPX stuff. So you can see if you go to the website what's included. I'm not going to go through everything, but we have things where you get the future stuff. Futures trading is amazing. More people need to trade futures, or at least sell premium on futures, than are currently doing it, because it's one of the best ways to make consistent passive profits, hence the name of one of our tiers here. This is really good. So yeah, definitely check it out. We have Lance's email address here, or you can just leave a comment, email me. I've been putting my email in the description and the comments below. That basically lets people contact me. So this is a little out of date, but the membership plans will probably give you some idea of what is included. Like I said though, there is no free trial because we were getting so many people signing up for free trials. Cards were bouncing, it was just turning into a nightmare. So we've gotten rid of that. We are prepared on a case-by-case basis to give small fee trials. So depending on your experience levels and how serious you seem to be, we are prepared to do things like that. And so you can check out some of these different menu results here, the 2022 results, 2023 results. Make sure if you're going to buy that you read our terms and conditions. We don't do refunds, mainly because you get access to a ton of proprietary information, and Lance spends a lot of time helping people up front, so it's not fair for people to take advantage of that and try and get a refund or claw back on their credit card. We contest and rebut all of those and usually win. So just make sure you're serious about signing up for this service, because we're serious about it. There's different free guides here if you want as well, which are pretty useful, these different guides, and also the contact page right here as well. So yeah, so that's what I wanted to say about Theta Traders and the small account journey with Jason Bonds. Which one wins in a straight up contest? It's hard to say. If you want small consistent gains, obviously Theta Traders. It lets you sleep at night. It's not going to grow your account from 2,000 to 50,000 within 3 months, but it's also not going to blow your account up either. So like I said, I've been doing this for a year now, and I've lost one single trade because the market did go on an unexpected super duper rally up, and I had a sold call on MES, and it got close to being challenged. It didn't actually get challenged, it didn't go above the strike. It got close though, and I decided that I'd rather take the small loss rather than risk taking a big loss, which is something that Jason is working on by the looks of things. I'll also leave in the description below a link to the review that I've done on the small account journey. It gives a bit of history about Jason. It gives a couple of things about Nate Baer, who's somebody I'm really enjoying working with at the moment. So I joined his Profit Surge Trader, and it's one of the best services for buy-side trading that I've ever seen, ever been part of. And you can go through this, kind of check it out. There's also a free course that we do for theta traders, which is learn how to win 90% of your trades in 90 seconds. It goes through the basics, so if you're a total noob, you might want to start there. Go through it, email us, let us know. If you want to become a subscriber to thetatraders.com. And basically, here's some of my interviews. So I did an interview with Jason when it was called Wall Street Bookie. So Jason Bond and Jeff Bishop had this service where it was basically them combined, I think, and then they split off, and he did one and Jeff did the other one. So this was Wall Street Bookie interview, and I think I put my interview more recently. So here's some of the challenges from 2023. So I showed you some of those already, but you can like revisit them in this article. So yeah, so here was one. This was one where things were going really great. So this was the one where he took 2,000 to 30,000, or which is just incredible. And so I interviewed on it, like when he was at 25,000. I interviewed him about it, and it was just like, wow, this is amazing. And so unfortunately, a lot of people signed up for this, and I hope that they'll eventually get their money back in terms of like learning the strategy, maybe changing the strikes a bit, and following Jason's new teachings. He's one of the best teachers I've seen. He's always doing live streams on Facebook, like educational webinars. Like you can get a lot of value from this rather than just following the alerts. But my hope going forward is that Jason's Small Account Journey actually becomes a really profitable service. So hopefully you guys don't just like give up and go, oh, that was a waste of money. This is not that expensive. I think it's like $500 or something, but the price keeps changing, so I don't really want to add too much like on what the price is, because they keep changing that up. One thing you might want to also do in this article is look up the free spread guides that we have that talk about these types of spreads, but how to make consistent monthly income without blowing up your account every few weeks or months. So definitely come and check this out. I need to change this. Like I said, there is no free trial for theta traders anymore, unfortunately. This is just gone. So I'll make sure I update that afterwards. And so yeah, so hopefully that's helpful. Hopefully you guys are in Small Account Journey are feeling more hopeful about the future. I know I am. I'm watching carefully from the sidelines and see how he does, what he decides on, if he's going to rebalance at $2,000. So every time he doubles it, he takes out the money, or if he's really going to try and go from 2,000 to 20,000 each time, or what. So he's always changing it. Hopefully he settles on what actually really works, and I hope you guys make money with this service. I'll leave a link to both thetatraders.com, which I prefer because it suits my lifestyle more. It's very passive and chilled out. I'll also leave a link to this article for the Small Account Journey, and also a link to buy Small Account Journey at the best possible price that's available at the moment. So hopefully that's helpful, and I'll talk to you guys soon.